does, though, remind me, we have Country Thunder up in Wisconsin, and I went a few years because I remember I went in 2012 and Wade Bowen was there, and so like the headliners are usually the pop people, but early in the day they usually humor us by having the artists that I want to hear there. And like this year they were like, of course Sam Hunt was a headliner, but earlier in the day they're like, yeah, we have Mark Chestnut. I'm like, well, why don't you have him headline?
Right. You know what's funny that I always think of is like all of these people that are here, Wade and Randy and Turnpike, and like they've done what they've done with zero radio support.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they get this huge following, regionally big, selling out. Like Turnpike sells out everywhere they go, large venues.
Yeah, that's the thing. We haven't gotten our tickets from the House of Blues, and we're not going to be able to get them right away.
Right.
We got to get home and get them.
With zero radio support.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get XM Play or they'll get regional Texas stuff or your little Americana stations around.
Yeah.
But I wonder why big pop radio, like mainstream radio doesn't go, you know what, if people were exposed to this, they would like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing that blows my mind.
Because people aren't exposed to it,
Yeah.
and they still have a huge following.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, that's exactly why we started making a podcast, which is we wanted to tell our friends to listen to better music because they listen to trash. And I was like, there's so much out there that I know that you'll like if you just hear it. And that's what I think it's crazy. Like, we'll tell people we're coming down here for this, and like, oh, who's the headliner? I'm like, okay, well, Turnpike and Jason Bowen, and no one has any idea who they are.
Right.
But when we come down here, everyone's singing along to every word, to every song, and I just think it's beautiful.
With zero radio help.
It's amazing, and that grassroots building of a fan base.
So
like, makes it so much better.
why don't they just grasp? It's because they try to put them in this. They've tried. Like Randy and Wade have all done the Nashville going. I've done it. Like I had a publishing deal with one of my bands, but they go and they try to kind of go, all right, cool, but let's try to produce some stuff like this. Like, why don't you just let people see if they like what we do already?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, why do we have to put more bells and whistles on it? They might like it.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Are you afraid of?
Yeah.
I think, are you maybe afraid of people liking something that's not in your controllable bubble?
What if we're wrong?
Yeah.
What if people like real music?
Yeah, people can have their opinion on whether Eric Church is country or not, but at least he writes his own stuff, and they let him do what he wants to do.
Right. Stylistically, who cares?
Yeah.
Really, in my opinion, that's what I really... Like, I heard a song today when we were eating breakfast, and I was like, man, this is a good song. I wish it didn't have that production, but this is a good song.
Yeah.
I think it was a Kenny Chesney song. Probably off his new record. I haven't listened to it. But it was good.
Yeah.
And it made me go, I wish it didn't have that on there, but whatever, it's cool. At least people are getting a good lyric. A good, smart lyric.
I wonder if it was Better Bow, because that's a single now. And
yes.
Yeah, that's a Travis Meadows song. So
there you go.
Yeah, so I've heard Travis Meadows sing that song.
That is what it was. And so I was like, at least people are hearing a good lyric.
Yeah.
They're...
And at least Travis Meadows is getting a paycheck for
Travis
it.
Meadows, he cut a Bauman song and that.
Yeah, that's the thing we were saying, that it was kind of cool that Chesney kind of did his own thing on this, because I think he just left his record label or something, so he kind of put out his.
It's funny how it always you get to do that when you leave your record label.
Yeah, or you do it, Tim McGraw, you release Truck when you get it free from your label.
I know, but then every once in a while there's some that come through that he released Humble and Kind. Awesome. That's a great song. And then slowly people maybe went, oh, this lady wrote this song, and looked up Lori McKenna.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes that kind of.
Because that's cool, because I think she was the first solo songwriter who had a #1 in a long time or something like that. It's usually the people who was
That's the most amazing part.
Isn't it real? It's another interesting thing that there's this whole girl thing in country music. They won't play women on the radio, but women write all the songs.
Yeah, exactly.
They're we don't want. People don't want to hear what women have to say in their song. But women are right. Jesse Alexander writes half of those. Hillary
People
Lindsay.
want to hear what women have to say. They just don't want to hear them
They
sing.
just don't want to hear the women sing on it. Natalie Hemby, all of these really successful, Beth Laird, these really successful women songwriters are writing all the hits for the dudes. And
And then our friends who do...
And they're like, women's points of view don't matter.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It doesn't play. No
one wants it.
Yeah. And then we have our friends who are... When people are interested in, like, hearing... Because, yeah, like we said, we started the podcast for our friends. It's just we ended up getting kind of a following from it, which is kind of cool. But we were like... We just wanted to introduce our friends because then we're like... There's no good women country. It's like Kelsey Ballerini and Kira Underwood. I'm like... No, you just haven't heard the good stuff. Like, you just don't know what's there.
I mean, I tell my own family that.
Yeah.
Like, I went to a family reunion the other day, and they're, we listen to whatever, we like your new songs. What have you, it's like they had never paid it. They knew that I was doing this, but then all of a sudden I kind of got a little publicity push.
Yeah.
And so they listened and went, that's what you do? Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, welcome to the last 15 years of my life.
I haven't talked to you since Facebook was invented.
Yeah. You know how whenever my kids come and stay next door with my mom because I'm on tour, this is what I'm doing.
Just thought you travel a lot.
Oh, you thought you were on like a brewery tour.
Well, it's also a funny thing. Like, I live in a small town, and I grew up in a small town. So, and I was like this when I was growing up too, because I wasn't exposed to anything else but Reba and that. But man, music was good. Anyway, people will say like, "Oh, you're going to Nashville this weekend? Wow! Are you gonna be like Miranda? Are you trying to be like Miranda Lambert? Are you gonna be on the TV? Are you gonna Well, there's a if I could tell you how many times I got asked if I'm going on The Voice, there's other ways to do this, you guys. Like, there's not anymore, to get super popular. But they like don't understand that I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
Like, I say, no, I'm not doing that. Well, you don't want to be like that? Then what are you doing? Like, well, there's this whole other level of a songwriting career that you can have where you don't have to, like, I can strive to not be recognized in Target.
Yeah.
Like, I can go and play 200-seat rooms and fill them up all over the place, make a living, support my family, and not be famous.
Yeah.
And it'll be great.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Is it in your hometown, are people kind of oblivious to your following that exists, or are they kind of figuring it out now?
They're figuring it out. I'll get messages on Facebook or whatever from I was watching a Facebook Live of Wade Bowens, and he had your shirt on. Like, what? I saw a video of you singing with, whoever else they love. Or and there's always I heard that was you on Turnpike. Because in my hometown, I didn't have this last name. So, in my hometown, I was Jamie Griffin.
Okay.
And so for a while, it took and on Facebook, I'm not Jamie Lin Wilson on my private.
Yeah.
I'm like JL Wilson, or like, so there's and I change it every once in a while anyway. But, so they'll go, somebody told me that this is you, and like send me a Spade, or like some song that I'm on Turnpike. Like, yeah. So does that mean that you know Evan Felker? Yeah.
No, we just sang in separate rooms.
Yeah, it does mean that. Like, that's really cool, or anyway, it hasn't gotten, like, it's just, they're still surprised. Like, because I didn't do this either when I was growing up. Like, I didn't get a guitar until I got into college. So, to a lot of these people that I grew up with, I'm a completely different.
Like figured out music all of a sudden?
I was an athlete in high school, so like it was an opposite. Like, I wasn't even in the choir, I wasn't in the band, I wasn't, like, and then I just went that way.
Did you always sing though? Just like for fun?
Yeah, I mean, talent shows whenever I was little, just because my dad was on the fair board, and the fair board kids had to enter the talent show, or else there wouldn't be any talent that kind of stuff. I always liked it, and I always thought, like, if I could do anything, I would like to be a singer. But like I said, whenever I grew up, it was, if you were saying country music, you wore a ball gown and went on TV.
Yeah.
You know, you were Reba McEntire in the big red dress, or Lori Morgan, or Susie Boggess, or like you were that. You know? And I knew that I didn't want to be that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it existed. And then I saw, like, I went to college and I saw Susan Gibson play somewhere at a bar, and I saw Rodney Crowell at a bar, and I would go watch Bruce Robinson all the time, and Jack Ingram, and these people who were at this other level, and went, maybe do, you know. Went and saw the Dixie Chicks one night, and it was at this huge arena show, and before I had a guitar, and my cousin and I were there, and everybody cleared the stage, and Natalie Maines stood up there by herself and played Cold Day in July with just a guitar, and I was like, I could probably do that. You know, like, not like this, like, but I know I can sing that song, and I could probably get a guitar, and I could sing and accompany myself in my room. You know, like, I didn't mean like I could be on stage doing it. I just meant like I could probably do that.
Absolutely.
Like, learn some chords.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know anybody that played guitar.
Yeah.
I didn't, like,
You
it
just self-taught?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know any, like, growing up, there was nobody around that played guitars. My grandma played piano, but, like, I just, like, I don't know. And so then my cousin and my mom got me a guitar for Christmas.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I did. And yeah, my high school friend, I mean, I was in band, but I played saxophone. So in college, I started playing guitar, and it was the same thing. Just like, no one's going to hear my songs, but I like sitting in my room and writing my own songs.
It's therapy, especially when you're in college.
Oh, yeah. It was, I always tell people, they ask why I started writing songs. I'm like, because it's therapy.
Yeah.
It's the best
Sorry,
form of
I'm
therapy.
allergic to Oklahoma, if y'all were wondering.
I'm just really upset that we're just ruining your day.
I'm like reminiscing and getting emotional. No. My eyes are watering because Oklahoma hates me.
Yeah.
I had some allergy problems yesterday. It was wonderful.
I know, I was losing my voice at the end of my set. I was like, no more songs, I'm going to lose it. If I do one more right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, you know, growing up, you're not exposed to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in small
I
towns,
believe it.
you know, without a music scene.
Well, I mean, that's, you know, I don't play music, don't do music, but just my experience with learning about just this whole world of music, the whole Red Dirt thing doesn't even exist for most people north of where Oklahoma is. You know, I grew up, like, my dad loved all the oldies, you know, like Merle Haggard, Waylon, all that stuff. So I heard that, and then I heard it was on the radio. And I had no idea there was anything different. And then several years ago, I started hearing the Red Dirt. I'm like, how come? Who's been hiding this from me this whole time?
But it is. They're actually hiding it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, like, all of Nashville, all of mainstream radio, they know that this exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they go, we're not touching it. You know, like, I don't, because I don't know exactly why. I mean, it's probably got something to do with we're headstrong and we're not going to go there and do what they can't mold.
Exactly.
They can't mold somebody that's already molded themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
they can't tell you to put a bunch of production on top of your song.
Right. And I mean, that's the whole, like, Chris Stapleton phenomenon. You know, he was already his own dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of infiltrated the system. And then they went, I don't know, let's see. And he went, whoosh.
That's the
because
thing.
people have been craving authenticity on the radio for so long that they it's holy shit, what is this guy?
Yeah, but it's insane that the radio still doesn't care because I don't think he's had a #1 hit yet.
Right, and then they went, Will, and it was after, wasn't it an award show or something that he went on and
he sang with Justin Timberlake.
And then everybody went,
and
so he got some attention for a second,
mm-hmm.
and then on the radio it went down.
Yeah.
But on iTunes, it's still, those 3 records are still like in the top 10 of iTunes.
It's selling like crazy, which just goes to show that people want.
Because people want it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Miranda and Tin Man. Like, how far did that get up on the chart? Like, to, like,
40.
Yeah. It didn't.
Maybe 30.
It didn't go up on the radio chart, but it, like, iTunes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the downloads and.
When the first time I heard that song, I was like, what
because when they heard her sing it, they went, what the hell is that? That's what we, like, you know, people are craving the authentic songs.
Jack Ingram releases it, it might go number one.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other part. Yeah, just get a dude.
I think he's got it.
Yeah, there is a version. I don't know if it's on that Hotel album. I can't remember what it was called, but it might have been on that one.
I think he's got one coming up.
Oh, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I remember we were gonna see him and you in Iowa, but I think that show got canceled or something like that.
Yeah, I think he had a family vacation. He had a family vacation scheduled that wasn't on the books.
I
get it. Nobody wants to come to Iowa.
Is that what she said?
I was bummed though because for some reason I actually do have kind of a Midwestern following. Like I can go to Minnesota. Like I spent all of the summer out of state. Like I was up in Kansas and Iowa and in Minnesota and then in Chicago. Like I did that for pretty much the whole summer. I don't know. I make more money out of state anyway. And it's good to be out in the summer, and
it's not as humid up there.
As humid.
Yeah.
I still complain about it all the time.
It's insane that there's definitely a demand for that because I remember they started a third country station up in Chicago, and the whole advertising before it started was just like different country. This is going to be its own new thing, and then they played the same stuff, and it's just 3 of the same stations. I was like, if we ever get a voice big enough, let us have a radio station, and we'll play Red Dirt.
I want a radio station.
You'll see how
Wouldn't
many.
That'd be awesome.
Or just
play whatever you want,
even if it's not us. But you'll see how many people leave those 3 stations for that station. People don't. It's like a double-edged sword there. They think no one's listening to it because it's not playing, but it's also not playing because they don't think anyone's listening to it or are afraid of it.
They're afraid of it. And it's all advertising money and all that too, because you know the advertisers. It's not a sure bet.
Yeah.
You know that kind of.
Yeah.
And you can't operate a radio station on. I swear it's good music.
Yeah, but it's good. Trust me.
Yeah. But even when we had Turnpike right before Brothers Osborne at Windy City Smokeout. I was actually surprised at how much of the crowd was singing every song. Like
I know. When I got up on stage to sing, I was like, wow, these people are into it. You know,
I was so excited.
I didn't know either because it's such a like the other bands were so different.
Especially in Chicago, and then with the people that were playing throughout the day.
Yeah, and you know, Turnpike fans aren't really known for being the most accepting of pop country. So I was like, these people are going to sit through all of these other stuff just to be at the front.
We were on the other side.
I would visit my sister in case I did actually skate something.
There was that catwalk, like on the front of the stage for everybody to use, and I was like, ever you can go out there? It's like.
That would have been funny. I would have laughed really hard if Evan did just walk out in front.
That actually reminded me of when we saw Cody Jinks, and he had the same catwalk for, I don't know, I think Chase Rice was also there or something like that. He just goes, I ain't going out there, I ain't no Nashville pretty boy.
I love it.
So funny.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Music, it's so subjective anyway. And also, one thing that I've realized being in this business and being so passionate about what I like and what I've learned that like some people are really into music and some people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just want to hear stuff that makes them want to have beer.
Some sort of noise
and something that's in the background, and after they hear it 14 times, or what's the number officially, like 21 times.
Before it becomes a habit or whatever.
It's like after you hear a song 21 times, you think you like it. Because you know the words.
Well, see, that just cracked the code on why the radio is the way it is. We'll just play the same shit over and over again.
Right.
Eventually,
and then
they're gonna like it.
They do, because it's a mental thing. Like, after, even me, like, one time I was flipping through stations and I was like, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. And I got to something that I was like, oh, cool, this is fine. It's like nostalgia, I like it, you know. And then I realized whenever started singing it was She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. That
it is a groundbreaking work of lyricism.
Yeah.
and at the time when that song came out, I was so anti She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy, you know? I was like, this song is horrible. But then I was like, this shit that's on the radio right now is making my tractor sexy sound like Guy Clark.
Yeah. It's so true.
Like, what is happening? You know, but it's because it was so familiar to me because they, you know, all of a sudden it like the music of it, like the intro and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. I know this song.
It's just as soon as you hear like a fiddle, you're like, oh thank God, there's an actual violin.
And so it was like you know, I had that moment of like, geez. But you know, some people are really into film, and they get really upset with me when I tell them my favorite movie is Tombstone. They're like, no, but the thing is, you have to watch this other movie. Like, you just don't know and then they like give me all this film festival artsy movies. I'm like, nope, I don't want any of that. Yeah. I don't want to have to think whenever I'm like, I want to watch something that either makes me laugh or like mostly just makes me laugh. Or is Tombstone. Yeah. Like where I know every word to every, you know, where it's just it's the best. So, like, to them, I'm a Neanderthal. But I just don't care about the artistic nature of movies. Yeah. And some people just don't care about the artistic nature of songs. Yeah. They just want to hear something that is, you know, common denominator song.
I understand when people don't like, you know, they don't care enough to listen to the lyrics. Like, I can grant you that you just want to hear the sounds. But then what I think about is, like, at your set yesterday, everybody just jamming. And just solos and jam. And I'm like, okay, tell me that there's a person who doesn't like that. Like, there's not even any lyrics you got to try to pay attention to at this point. They're just showing off how great they are as musicians.
Also, I mean, the other side of all of that is that, like, I know that I don't want to watch. Every once in a while I'll go, okay, cool, hit me with your, you know, Last Night in Paris or whatever artsy movie. Yeah. I don't even know if that's an actual movie. I'm just imagining something about Paris.
It sounds like someone definitely made that movie.
If not, they should.
You'll get a screenwriting credit.
But if you're not exposed to it at all is where the you know, like, like there's a lot of people who go, I didn't even know.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know, you know, and
I feel like it's
and then they feel cheated.
Yeah. What the hell? Oh no.
Yeah, well, because I remember even after just our very first episode, we talked about Eric Church because it was a safety one that we knew about. But we were at the end, we always say like what we're listening to, and he brought up Shane Smith and the Saints, and our buddy texted like right after Pussy goes, "I just listened to that band, and they're awesome." I was like, "Yeah, exactly." Like,
yeah, you just because there's great musicians everywhere. Yeah. And there's also really bad ones everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, we can go into that another day.
I can shit on Pop Country all day.
No, but that's one thing the internet has helped us with, you know, us smaller bands. People discover us on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. That's how I've gotten a lot of things from the Discover playlists on Spotify.
Right. Yeah. But then there's a whole other thing about how to get on those. You know, like those playlists are the new radio, so you got to have somebody pushing your songs onto those.
And that's
playlists.
Such a disappointing part of it. Is like, oh, we got this new avenue for music to come to the people, and you can do whatever you want.
And then they go and disify it.
People take the playlist.
The worst one was when they had a Randy Travis playlist. It was like, this is what Randy Travis is listening to. The first song was Kane Brown. I'm like, he's not listening to that.
Don't believe me.
I promise that's not true.
Yeah.
I don't believe you at all.
Like, he met him once, and his publicist said, hey, we're going to stick your name on this playlist. And
I know. I have a soft spot for that guy, though.
Kane Brown?
Yeah. I do. I mean, I've only listened to a few of his songs. But, you know what you should do is... But I just think that he looks so gentle. Like, I think that he just looks like he's a really nice guy.
Probably.
And he was at the...
I'm sure he is.
And he was at that... he was at that Chicago festival, too.
Yeah.
Backstage.
He was the one I skipped.
Yeah. He seems like he's real sweet. Like, I want to be his friend. Be like, come here, little fella. Come sit with me.
Yeah.
I want to be your friend.
Well, yeah, that's always also the thing we always have to disclaim to people. Is like, just because we don't like their music doesn't mean we don't like them. I'm sure they're very nice people out there. But
I know. And I think, and a lot of those guys, like, I feel kind of bad for them sometimes because sometimes they're not in charge
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And they didn't have songwriting aspirations. They just know they can sing and they like to. And so then they go there because they can sing and somebody goes, "Come here, little boy. Here's some candy. Come over here. Tell you what you should play. This song would be a huge hit." And they just go, "Cool, I'll sing it. What do you want?"
Yeah.
Because people are in it for different reasons. Some people want to be a star. Some people just like to sing.
Yeah.
And some people 10 years into their career go, "Oh shit, I should have never done any of that."
Yeah.
And they didn't know.
Yeah.
And because like whenever I was little, my mom wanted, like if I would have said, "Mom, I want to be a singer," she would have gone, "Cool, I'll figure out a way for you to move to Nashville." Like she would have done that for me as a 16-year-old, you know, and I'm so, because there was an Opry close by that she was like, "I can get you on, like if you want to go sing on this Opry whatever night, we can go do that." And I was like, "I don't want to do that." But if I would have made a different choice and said, "Yeah, I want to be a singer, let's go," I would have been like the person that did that. That's my age is Leanne Rimes.
Yeah.
She was not that I would have been Leanne Rimes, but but that's the trajectory of someone who just moves to Nashville that can sing and is marketable.
Yeah.
They go, "Here, do this."
Yeah, we can take what you have and we can do this with it.
Right. And then they end up not having a choice. Like I've read several articles about country singers that is he still sleeping? I've read several articles about country singers that say that. They're like, "We don't have, like, I regret all of these things. And I don't have control over anything."
Yeah, and thankfully it's once that leash is cut that they can just talk out without having to fear being blackballed.
But for those 10 years,
yeah,
like, they just, not wasted them, but they just kind of, they were used for evil. Their talents were used for evil or whatever,
Yeah.
But I feel bad for them, so I don't go, like, to the pop country people and go, "It's horrible, and you're bad for doing that."
Yeah.
I go, "God, I'm sorry if that's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
It might be what you want to do, so cool. But if it's not, I feel really bad for you."
Yeah, there's some where we watch and we're like, we can tell that they're just up there for the fame, and
Right.
you can tell pretty quickly when it's like that, especially
and
when.
And then there's folks like Eric.
Yeah.
That he's great.
Yeah.
And
he's doing what he wants.
And he's doing what he wants, and he is, he rides that line of marketability, and easy to he can be artistic and commercial, and that's it's a really 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 fun line. But he rides it pretty well. Like that song, that Desperate Man song that he has out right now.
Sounds kind of like a Stone song. And
that's a Ray Wiley co-write.
Yeah, exactly.
And Ray's like, "Cool, I'm in." Dress me up like a drug dealer for your video.
I haven't seen the video, but I'll have to check that out.
You should.
Awesome.
It's really good.
Is it? That's awesome.
He's like in a blue polyester suit and being all Ray Wiley.
That's awesome.
I cannot believe this is happening. For all of you in podcast world, my baby's been sleeping for like 3 hours. We've been waiting for him. But he did not sleep past 4 a.m.
Oh, that's fun times.
Woke up at 4 and fell back at 9. Now he's just out.
I can only imagine.
Oh, so cute.